As far as labor goes, no charge. Happy birthday. So just square up with me for the parts.
No,
And
no,
yeah,
I can't
no,
do that. No,
no.
that's too much.
No. Ooh. We got a 2007 Ford Edge with a really mean misfire. Look at that exhaust shaking. For codes, we got system 2 lean bank 1, injector circuit malfunction cylinder 1 misfire, and misfire detected on startup. So this is a Ford 3.5 liter V6, and if we're looking at the front of the engine here with the crank pulley, we have cylinder 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bank 1 and bank 2. Now the first thing I noticed when I opened up this hood is bank 2 is nice and exposed. Bank 1 is buried under the intake manifold. Another thing I noticed is that the injector connectors here have a zip tie on them there and here. This one is still good, and then I looked back at cylinder number 1 injector and the clip's broken on that one as well. Now on a normal misfire diagnosis, I would pull the spark plug in the ignition coil for the problem cylinder, I'd move it to other cylinders and see if the misfire follows it from the original cylinder to wherever I moved it to. However, since we have this hard injector fault, I think we should start there. Now since we have zip ties on that connector and that connector, let's pull the connector for number 6 and check the resistance value. Let's take a pair of needle nose and pull the connector off without breaking it like somebody else did to the others. Okay, get that out of the way. Now there is a good little bit of oil in there, which is a little surprising. See, it looks a little wet. Now it's possible that oil is feeding up into the engine harness from an oil pressure sensor or something else like that. I've seen it happen on BMWs, but we'll worry about that later. So now we're gonna get my multimeter set up for a resistance check. We got ground here, and we have the red plug over here to resistance and voltage. Now we're gonna click it over to resistance. Now we're gonna check across both pins on the injector with the connector removed, and we're gonna see what resistance we have at the injector. 14 to 15, and the spec I saw online says it should be anywhere from 10 to 15 with a cold engine. Now I'm gonna cut the zip tie for cylinder number 5 injector because I wanna pull this out. We need to get as much data as we can to be able to compare it to cylinder number 1. I'll just have to re-zip tie this up later. Now we can pull off connector for number 5. Number 5 looks nice and dry, so there's no oil getting into that one, which is interesting. It's possible someone could have like maybe spilled a little bit in there at some point too. But let's check resistance at number 5. That's odd, it's reading 35. Why are you so much higher? 35 ohms, that's a lot. This one's got a little bit of oil in it, not as much as number 6. And this one's at 14. Wonder if someone went in here and replaced the injectors because the fuel rail's labeled 4, 5, 6. Obviously someone went into the connectors. My buddy Josh just bought this car, and I think the guy he bought it from does flips, and so it's possible he was in here trying to get this thing to run right. Let's just confirm again and let's write these values down. This connector back here was not zip tied and it was left loose as well. Tuck that up and out of the way. Okay, now we need to sneak some test leads down to the injector. Tough little angle. I'm on the pins. I'm on the pins, but I'm getting no resistance. Trying to make sure I got good contact. Yeah, we're getting nothing. Nada. Big zilch. Tight fit, but I'm on the pins. No resistance on cylinder number 1 injector. So, before we call it a bad injector, let's use the same test leads, drop them down onto this injector, and right there. 14, 35, 14. Let's try one more time. Make sure we do our due diligence. Open. Yep. Is that a scary new car? You haven't seen this car yet. This is a Ford Edge. Come here. It's okay. Yeah, come here. She gets spooked around new cars, new smells. Come here. Oh, good girl. Yeah, it's not scary. That's a good girl. This is Josh's car. He's Fran. So, based off our resistance values across bank 2, 14, 35, 14, and then having no resistance at cylinder number 1, I think we have a bad injector on number 1. Normally, I would pull it, swap it to another cylinder, and see if it follows. You can do the same style testing with injectors as you do with spark plugs and ignition coils, but because those injectors and ignition coils are buried under this intake manifold in the back, it's going to make that testing a lot more difficult. It would probably be a couple hours of labor just to pull the intake manifold, swap those out, put it all back together with the same old used O-rings just to confirm our diagnosis. So I think that we should put a set of 6 injectors into this thing because we have no resistance to injector number 1. It's as simple as that. We have no resistance. So it either shorted out or it failed or something's going on with that injector. Yeah, that's pretty rough. Let's pull number 4. Wow, these connectors do not like to stay down. We're gonna have multiple cylinder misfires with these injectors. No wonder they were zip tied. Pull number 1. Yeah, 0 change. Let's just push this connector down and hold it. Yeah, no improvement. So we just got a dead injector on number 1, I'm pretty sure. Now it also makes sense as to why we'd have system 2 lean on bank 1. Cylinder number 1 is on bank 1, and if it's not spraying fuel, that bank 1 oxygen sensor is going to be seeing a reduced amount of fuel and an increased amount of air, which is going to cause our air-fuel mixture ratio to be a little bit lean. So it is possible that it does have a vacuum leak on bank 1 causing it to go lean, or it's possible that we're only getting 2/3 the amount of fuel that bank 1 actually needs, which is causing the computer to see it as too lean. All right, we talked to Josh. We got 6 injectors coming, 3 injector connectors. We'll do the ones in the rear. When we get more in the future, we'll do the ones in the front. I got an intake manifold gasket for the upper plenum. I have a throttle body gasket because that's probably original, probably needs to be replaced. And then a set of 6 Iridium NGK plugs. Based off what I saw online, it does look like Iridium's is OE. So injectors, connectors, intake gasket, throttle body gasket, spark plugs. I think this thing is going to be running like brand new after we do all that. So now it's time to do a little bit of research on the intake plenum, start pulling off the air box, and see if we can figure out how to take apart this brand new to me 3.5 liter Ford V6. Let's get started. All right, got me a little mortadella sandwich. If you guys have never had mortadella, you're missing out. With some fresh French bread from a local bakery, a little provolone cheese, a little butter, that'll do. All right, let's get started. Mass airflow sensor, flathead screwdriver for the intake boot hose clamp, 8mm for the air box. Pop these clips, see if there's a bolt under the filter. Let's check our air filter. I like to hold it up to the light. I can see light through it, so it's still good. Now I need to figure out how this connector works for this crankcase ventilation hose. Okay, I just push that tab over. Now I'm gonna disconnect the intake hose from the throttle body with a stubby flathead back here to the hose clamp. And there's another vacuum line over here to the intake boot. Just get that pulled out. Now we got the intake hose removed. Also, we need to inspect this, make sure there's no cracks in it like a BMW does. Make sure we're not getting any vacuum leaks, and that looks good. Don't forget to take another bite of sandwich. Okay, let's get this throttle body disconnected. This looks like a connector for the purge valve. Purge valve to intake manifold. So let's disconnect that. And let's just start attacking these intake manifold bolts. I think it bolts all together right here, and we'll just be able to pop her on out. There's another hose connection back here. Now let's just wiggle this thing. Oh, she's pretty loose. It's a great sign. All right, so this overflow hose is attached to this loom, so let's pull this out of the way. That runs over here to the thermostat. And let's get this wiring loom disconnected too. Oh, I see, the loom is taped to it, so we should just keep this whole. And lift these off like this. Okay, that should give us some more freedom. Oh, I see. There's another bolt back here. 8mm kind of buried back here. It's like a bracket that mounts to the back of the manifold or something. Okay, there's another 8mm over here at the throttle body for a little bracket. We could take the throttle body out. Okay. Throttle body's out. We'll clean that up. It's pretty close to coming out, but there's this big hose attached to the backside. Okay, it runs down to the valve cover. That must be for the PCV for the backside. I got a real nifty tool for this. This is my pair of hose clamp pliers. I haven't used these in a long time. Usually use them for Mini Cooper hose clamps, but this will be a perfect use. Squeeze it, tighten it like that. Now we should be able to reach back, disconnect this hose. Nice. There's something else. There's a plug back here for this PCV valve. That's unplugged. And we have another hose connection here. Let's see if I can grab that with my needle nose. Use my panel popper. Try to lever and push it off the nipple. Get off of there. All right, that wasn't too bad at all. All right, so in total, we had a vacuum line here, the vacuum line here that goes from the purge valve. We had another line here with a connector on the back. Then we had this bolt for this bracket. We had another bolt down here under the throttle body. We had 4 bolts for the throttle body. And then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts for the plenum. And there's our gaskets. Now we have access to the intake manifold, the lower section, and our fuel rail. And it looks like all of these injectors have been zip tied. So here's a closer look for you guys. We have injector 4, injector 5, injector 6. We had 14 ohms, 35 ohms, 14 ohms, and then none. And then this is zip tied and this is zip tied. So let's cut those zip ties. I'm going to clean this up, cover it up so we don't drop anything down in there. And then we can start on disconnecting the fuel line and getting the fuel rail out. I'm just taking a little bit of brake cleaner and a rag and wiping down this intake manifold surface, and then I'm going to throw masking tape over it so we don't drop anything down there while we're pulling the fuel rail. Got some real skinny masking tape, so it's going to take a couple passes. Better safe than sorry. You do not want to drop anything down here. It'll go straight into the valves, straight into your engine. Then we got bigger problems. All right, let's cut these zip ties to the injectors. Now let's check resistance to the injectors again. All right, I actually have resistance this time, and it's 365 ohms. 350. I guess I just didn't have a good enough contact before. 360 ohms. 13.5. And on number 3, we have 30 ohms. In conclusion, number 1 was 350 ohms of resistance. Number 2, 14. Number 3, 30. Number 4, 14. Number 5, 36. And number 6, 14. Based off this number, I'm still confident that the fuel injectors are the problem, so I'm going to continue. Okay, now I'm going to disconnect the fuel line to the fuel rail. Should get some safety glasses. Should always rock safety glasses when dealing with fuel lines, because you never know if it's going to squirt you in the eye or not. I've been squirted in the eye from fuel lines, so there we go. Fuel line's disconnected, and now I'm going to pull the hardware for the fuel rail. Okay, now the injectors are going to come out with the fuel rail. Let's just make sure we got all the hardware. Looks good. Sort of wiggle this thing back and forth. Fucking crud that I should have vacuumed up. And there's our fuel rail. Now, I think I was incorrect in regards to these being replaced. I'm seeing Ford Motor Company stamped on every single one. This one was manufactured 17-10-06, 17-10-06, 17-10-06, 17-10-06. So these injectors are actually original. Now I'm gonna vacuum up any dirt and debris in the valley so nothing gets into the injector ports. Now I'm going to take a plastic bristle brush set, and I'm going to clean out those injector ports. If you were to use this steel or brass and any of that gets down into there, it can get into the cylinders. We don't want that. Plastic is okay. The engine can handle plastic, so just throw this on a drill. And I'm going to show you with the camera real quick as to why I'm cleaning them. See all that junk down in there? This one I already cleaned up. That one's got junk. This one's got junk. Dirty, dirty, dirty. So let's just give them a quick little polish. All right, next I'm gonna start working on getting these ignition coils exposed and get access to the spark plugs. Slide these red tabs down and then it'll release, I think. These rears don't look as fun. Side-mounted V6s kind of suck. But it is fun learning a new car. Now before I pull these ignition coils, I just want to label them. Yes, fell through. Magnet for the win. Boot seems pretty nice and soft still. See that there? I got all folded up and bound up on installation. Probably been like that for so long it'll be hard to fix it. That's a little better. Now these don't have a marking on the top. These almost look like no name. That one got folded a little bit too. Yeah, these ones are gotta be original because they don't want to come out. Not like those front ones. Those front ones just fell right out. Now these say blue streak. So it's got to be a different style. Connector's a little bit different. Just probably aftermarket versus original or something. Blue streaks in the back. I think OE in the front. Now let's work on pulling these spark plugs. Spray these out. All right, we got a 5/8 spark plug socket. Looks like this is a Motorcraft Platinum AYFS 22FM. All right, we are torn down and ready for reassembly. I'm gonna call local parts stores and see if I can find Motorcraft plugs and Platinums instead of the NGKs that I ordered up so far. I'd rather put OE or as close to OE as I can get. Platinum Motorcraft would be a great plug. I don't really want to put the NGK Iridiums in. I like to stick with what is OE from the manufacturer, and I assume that this car, based on the year range, is probably a Platinum. So I'm going to call around to some other parts stores, see if I can source some Platinums, and then once Napa gets in with my parts, we'll start putting this thing back together. I'll see you guys then. All right, I'm still waiting on parts from Napa, the injectors, intake manifold gasket, all that stuff. But I did just get back from O'Reilly. I bought some Ford Motorcraft spark plugs. I was gonna go with the NGK Iridiums, but they're like 20 bucks a piece, and Ford Platinums came out of it. I wanna put Ford Platinums back in it. So let's get these spark plugs installed, then we can get the ignition coils back in, and hopefully by the time we're done with that, Napa will have my other parts in from their other location, and then we can go pick those up. Torque wrench is acting up, so I'm just throwing these in good and tight. I've done it plenty of times before. Time to put these ignition coils back in. I think I'm gonna put them back in the same position that they came out. I'm taking a little bit of this PB Blaster silicone lubricant and just putting a tiny little touch on the tip just so these boots slide down nicely. I'm pretty sure every single bolt I've taken off of this car was an 8mm. So I think I literally could have done this entire job with a flathead screwdriver and an 8mm socket and a ratchet and some extensions, which is very impressive, Ford. That is a pretty cool little feature. Another thing I want to do is spray out this brush with some brake cleaner and kind of get it a little wet and give these fuel injector ports one more pass, because there's still a little bit of oily debris in there. Check that out, looking super clean now. 4, 5, 6, 3, 2, 1. Ready for new injectors. Now just to double, triple, quadruple check my work, let's check resistance at these one more time with a different set of leads. So the resistance has changed since they cooled down, but why did this thing go from 350 back down to 17? Josh was saying that it acts up when it gets hot, so maybe the injector was warm, and now that it's cooled down, it's not acting up anymore. Oh, that doesn't make me feel good. I still need to stick with my diagnosis in the future, or from the past. Let's switch over to these leads and see if we have a different number, because I just have to trust the number that I had previously. It was 330 to 350 ohms. So I think it just cooled down. I think it's an intermittent fuel injector issue, and it was only happening when it was hot. I just gotta trust it. I gotta trust it and hope this fixes it. While we wait, let's suck these rat turds and snail shells out of the airbox. And let's set some tire pressures, 35 front and rear. We can also give these brakes a quick look over too. That rear left was overinflated to 43, 44. So I'm trying to be patient. Let's check engine oil. And I wish parts showed up just when they said they'd show up. It said 240, it's almost 4 o'clock. Oil level's good. Powder steering's at the max line. Brake fluid looks good. Coolant looks good. Finally, we got some parts. 6 injectors, 3 injector connectors. Let's get to work. I'm gonna start with disassembling these injectors one by one and throwing on some freshies. So here we have our clip. We're just gonna pull that out sideways. Ooh, a little sticky, huh? Give it a pinky swipe. New injector, new O-ring. It's got a little bit of grease on it from the factory, but we're gonna put just a touch more Sil-Glyde. Drop this sucker in. Oh no, you're kidding me. Dude, seriously? They're the wrong type of injectors. Okay, so 5 of the injectors are good. The 6th one that they shipped me has this style fitting with these teeth as opposed to this notch here for the clip. So we'll get it swapped out tomorrow morning. Kind of a pain in the ass, but it happens. So can't get too upset. Just want to get this car done for Josh in a timely manner, but let's keep going. I'll install 5 and I'll reseal the intake and wait to put that on, and then we'll put the other injector in tomorrow. Okay, let's continue. I'm going to use some Sil-Glyde here on the injector O-ring just so it'll slide down into its home a little better. And we take our clip, find that notch, and slide her home like that. It's kind of a sloppy design, you know? It's got a good amount of flop in them. You don't run into these problems with FCP Euro, guys. Gotta say, I've been spoiled with my part suppliers recently. I just took out a new injector for a new injector. I did indeed. Stupid. Okay, there's 5 installed. We just gotta wait till tomorrow morning for the next one. Sadly, that's all we can do for now. All right, let's work on this intake manifold. I got a Fel-Pro gasket set. You really ought to refresh these gaskets if you ever take them out. So who knows if this has ever been replaced. Got our old throttle body gasket. Toss in a freshie. Flip this pig over. Throw in these intake manifold gaskets. Oh, it's got a little access nub right there. That's helpful. Yep, you match up there just fine. Since there's some oil saturation in there, what we'll do is let's pick these out. Let's take her over to the old trash can, spray out all this oil. Forgot to press record, but I sprayed that all out with brake cleaner, and then I took my air gun and I sprayed out all the brake cleaner. The brake cleaner really breaks up the oil and causes it to release from the plastic, and then the compressed air dries out all the solvent in the brake cleaner. Gives you a real nice bone dry surface, And then I got all these gaskets fit in, and they are fitting really, really nice. This Fel-Pro stuff feels really, really good. So, intake manifold, we got new throttle body gasket, new intake gaskets. This is ready to go for tomorrow. While we wait for that injector tomorrow morning, one more thing we can do is start putting on these injector connectors. I'm gonna do the back ones, the back 3, because they're completely buried by the intake manifold. And then in the future, when we order some more, we can do the fronts because they're easily accessible. I took a look at these connectors, and it looks like they're already cut with wires. So what I'm gonna do is pull the pins out of here and then just pull the pins out of the original connectors and swap them over into these housings. So we're not going to use these wires. We'll just hold on to these or throw them away. All right, so now we need to figure out how to get these wires disconnected from this plug. All right, now that I've taught myself how to do it, let me show you guys the right way to disconnect these. So you start by releasing this locking tab on the connector right there, okay? Take that out. And we have our 2 pins right there and right there. There's little locking tabs right down there and right down there. What you do is take a pick tool, open up that locking tab, and then slide that connector out just like this. It fits up like that. Same story on this side. There's a little tab right down in that slot. Pick that out. Slide it out. Slide the new ones in, drop the clip back down. That's what I'm going to be doing on all 3. Now these old locking tabs are pretty dry and brittle and they really want to break, so I got to try to get these out without them breaking off inside. These have got like 180,000 miles on them, so they're real dry and brittle. How can I get you out? I need a real fine pair of needle nose. I think this is perfect timing to bust out my new Knipex electrical tool set. Super fine little needle nose, pliers, all this stuff made for electrical work. Now I've been a huge fan of Knipex for a long time. They make some of the best hand tools around, and these things are just absolutely choice. So let's see if these will get the job done. I think they will. I just remembered I had this set. Let's go Knipex. Yeah, there we go. That is what is left of the locking tab. These pliers are super sick though. Aren't they just gorgeous? Those who know, know. Knipex are so nice. Now Knipex asked me to send them a little wish list of some tools I thought I could use, and I just want to show them off to you guys. This is absolutely not sponsored, but they did send me an awesome little care package. Some really neat, super narrow needle nose vice grips. Some big boy vice grips with a really awesome jaw pattern here. We have a little smaller circular cut, and then something right here that'll match the size of a hex bolt. High leverage diagonal cutters. These things are an absolute animal. You can cut through super thick gauge with them. I also got some mini Cobalt bolt cutter sets. These things, same thing as the diagonal cutters, but even beefier. Like you can cut through locks and chains with these things. A pipe cutter for super small radius pipes, so just for some home repair. Another pair of vice grips because I just need good vice grips, and these are all made in Germany too, just super high quality. You know me, I love my German vehicles. I also love my German tools. These really awesome bent needle nose pliers, just a super unique angle. They have a really tight tolerance at the tip with some really nice knurled tips on them. These guys, super flush cutters. Just look how minute that cutting edge is. It is just absolutely razor sharp. Talk about flush cutting zip ties. These things are a beast. Can't forget my spark plug wire pliers. Really, really nice knurled tips. Got that nice radius design for getting into spark plugs. And I've been using Knipex for years. These are actually my hog ring pliers for doing upholstery. And I got this little Mac Knipex pliers in my toolbox for years, and it's probably one of my favorite plier sets. So a huge thank you to Knipex for the care package. Again, this isn't sponsored, but I just wanted to show you guys some badass tools and say thank you to Knipex for this awesome package. Now doing these connector repairs can be really fun when you have the right tools. Not so fun when these connectors break, but all in all, I actually do like this type of work. All right, we got 2 new connectors. See if we can get this third one to release. And she broke a little bit. That's okay. There's a lot of oil in this connector. All right. Boom, baby. all 3 bitchin' and brand new injector connectors. No more zip ties. Put that back on. Put that back on. That guy goes there. That is ready for the fuel rail. Well, I'm about done. I just gotta wait for parts to show up tomorrow, but let's fix this license plate. This thing is absolutely beat. Let's hook Josh up. Watch it be more 8 mils. Yeah, 8 mil, literally everything. And a square bit at the bottom, huh? I don't even have square drive. Let's use our new Knipex needle nose and see if we can get a little bite on this thing. Just spin it out by hand. It ain't perfect, but that's definitely an improvement. Well, I'm out of parts. I got nothing else to do. So I'll see you guys in the morning when that injector shows up and we'll get this thing put back together. Hopefully it's running like a new car. Next morning, just got back from Napa. We got the correct fuel injector. Let's finish up this fuel rail. Let's put this thing back together. One more injector to install. Boy, I hope these injectors work. It sounds like from Josh's description, the car would run okay when it was cold. It would run a little rough after a short drive, and it would run really rough after a longer drive. So based off our diagnosis and based off Josh's description, yeah, I think that injector was working okay when it was cold, and then by the time it would get hot, it would just completely fail and cause the condition that we were looking at. All right, time to install the fuel rail. Everything's gonna go smooth. This thing's just gonna fall right in. We're gonna bolt it down. Intake's gonna go right down. Everything's gonna go smooth. Firm push. Nice. Everything's seated in really well. That's the beauty of using a little bit of silicone grease. I literally took this entire car apart with 8mm. It is so cool. It is so refreshing. And having to use Torx and 8s and 13s and 10s and E12s. Literally, an 8mm socket and a flathead screwdriver. This whole car came apart. If you're doing this repair and your valve covers are leaking, it would be a great time to do them. Okay, let's snug them by hand. Injector connectors. Great fit. Love to see it. It's gonna be some great reassurance knowing that those injector connectors are just dialed. All right, it is time to install the intake manifold. Peel all this masking tape off. Give the gasket surface one last wipe down with some brake cleaner. Get a nice, clean, oil-free surface for the years to come. Make sure that manifold seats really well. Woo! You hear that one? Juicy. All right, before we do that, let's plug our fuel line back on. Put our connector back in. We're gonna take a little thimble of silicone grease, swipe the inside of this hose, swipe the inside of this hose, just make them slide on a little easier when we're working on those back connections. Set ourselves up for success, you know? All right, manifold goes back in. It's looking good. Manifold's lined up. What I'm gonna do first is that electrical connector back here to the PCV. Be easy to forget. Ah! There we go. Okay, gotta do this rear chunky hose. Fits down onto this nipple. Let's just use the hose clamp pliers again on this little pressure clamp. These hose clamp pliers work so good. I gotta start using those things more often. All right, let's get this manifold situated again. Purge valve connector. Let's put the bolts back in the manifold. Okay, and then let's hit this rear bracket. Throttle body bracket. Let's give this throttle body a quick spit shine. I don't have any throttle body cleaner, but I do have some mass airflow sensor cleaner. Clean off the back and front side of the butterfly valve too. All right, now we got to get these injectors plugged back in and get them zip tied. Okay, Intake hose time. Not a very good location for the intake hose clamp, but just forward things. Okay, and then this hose plugs into the intake. Air filter, air box, lid. And this thing's gonna fire up. No misfire. It's gonna idle beautifully. It's gonna run super good. We're gonna have no problems. Isn't that right, Mr. Ford? Yep, we're gonna get along just fine, Mr. Ford. My diagnosis was correct. Put some new spark plugs in ya. I checked your fluids. I topped off your tire pressures. We fixed your connectors. We put in all new injectors. You're gonna be a good little car for me, okay? All right, let's plug in the scan tool. Clear faults, 193,000 on this V6. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. I am nervous. Put a couple $100 parts in this thing. All right, fingers crossed, here we go. Boy, that is really nice. That is really smooth so far. Wow, that thing is running really good, guys. It is running really good. Oh, I think we correctly diagnosed this car. Boy, with that varying resistance in that cylinder 1 injector, I was nervous. I had so many different values throughout this process. Open circuit, 350 ohms, 17 ohms, 12 ohms. But I think that injector was failing once it was getting warm. It's causing something to swell inside of it, causing it to short and act up after the car got warm and that injector 1 got heat soaked. Whew! I think we did it. All right. She's purring. She's purring like a kitten. It is really smooth, night and day difference. No more shaky tailpipe. Let's go! Let's go! Oh, it feels so good when you get a diagnosis right. I'd never checked resistance on fuel injectors like I did on this diagnosis. Never done it. Never done injectors on a Ford. Never touched this Ford. But with a little bit of basic diagnostic troubleshooting, we were able to find the problem and fix it. Josh is gonna be stoked. This thing is gonna be running so good compared to how this thing used to drive. It's gonna be a night and day difference. So I'm gonna let her warm up for a minute, fill up this washer fluid. Let's take it for a test drive. Washer fluid's topped off, coolant's good, power steering's good, oil is good, brake fluid is good. We are good. No more tools left in the hood. Let's go drive this thing. Oh, we nailed it, guys. We nailed it. Oh, she's so fixed. She's so fixed. Now that injector 1 circuit malfunction was a very good tell that we were dealing with an injector and not an ignition coil. If it said like injector cutout, kind of like it does on a 335i when you develop a misfire, that's the cylinder just killing the injector to preserve the engine and save it. But when I plugged in my scan tool, it said circuit malfunction. When I plugged in my other scan tool, it said open circuit. So that sort of pinpoints that, oh, we have an issue with either the wiring to the injector or the injector itself, as opposed to injector cutoff, which would be computer killing the injector. Oh yeah, baby! Let's go! Let's go! Oh yeah, she's cooking. We're cooking with gasoline, baby! Yes, Josh is gonna be so stoked. She's driving good. She's shifting pretty good too. It was a little sluggish in reverse, but you know, like when I put it in reverse, it didn't want to start walking. I had to give it a little bit of gas to get it to go. Oh, this thing's driving great. Dude, it's driving great. This is so good. Huge win, guys. Huge win. Give me some knucks. Yeah, let's go, baby. Let's go. Man, just the satisfaction of diagnosing and repairing a car correctly is all the payment that I need. It's all the payment that I need. It is such a good feeling. As you can see in the back at that injector one, brand new connectors.
Yeah, it is.
I dissected them and kept the original wires. So all three in the back are done. Intake got new gaskets here, here, and here, and that's where the plenum sandwiches down onto the intake manifold, then goes down into the valves. A couple hoses were removed. There's this little hose back here in the connector. There's another little hose back there with a hose clamp. This line came off from the purge valve to the intake. Throttle body came out. I cleaned that. New throttle body gasket too. Intake hose came out. Inspected that for leaks.
This was
checked the air filter.
All that to get.
Yeah. So this entire plastic plenum came up and out, and then the fuel rail came up and out, and then I replaced all 6 injectors on the bench. I got a box full of parts here for you too. The ignition coils in the back were different than the ignition coils in the front. The ones in the back were like blue streak, and I did some research on them, and it's like a upgraded, supposed to be a better than upgraded OE ignition coil. O'Reilly sells them, and it's standard brands, like upgraded version. So I did notice some slight differences between them, but I left those in the rear because they look newer. And so I was like, okay, if the ignition coils ever cause any problems, you know, it'll probably be these ones up front. They're better accessible. So
cool.
Isn't it like a night and day difference? Isn't it like so bitchin'?
Yeah.
It's so smooth.
The massage mode's turned off.
Yeah. The exhaust was literally shaking and moving before.
Oh man, you can see the whole motor shaking before. I want to look at it. It was rough all the time.
Yeah, and then as the engine heat soaked it, it went from working barely to not working at all.
So I was driving a Volvo.
So you're just driving a 5-cylinder, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
You were just on 5 of 6.
Man.
But, so, parts, we got the AAA discount from Napa. It literally brought the price down like $140.
Sick.
Which was super huge. So, 6 injectors at 55, intake gasket at 15, and then 3 injector connectors at 17. And then these were the $16, so we can subtract that plus tax off this total. So this will be for the spark plugs, and this will be for everything else. And then as far as labor goes, no charge. Happy birthday. So just square up with me for the parts.
No,
yeah,
no, that's too much.
No. I already decided. It's your birthday, and I already had this thought before you were going to come over. I want to do more.
You can't do that.
Yeah, we're going to do it. You've brought me so many different cars, dude. You brought me Hunter's X3 and paid for all that work. You paid for all the work with Muhammad. You paid for the work for the 128. You gave me content with this car. You gave me content with all of them. You're a good buddy of mine. It's your birthday, and I want to start paying it forward on the channel more, and it's a series that I want to start, so we'll kick things off with you. But
yeah,
all we got to do is just square up for the parts. Everything else, you're good.
Yeah, I'm thank you. I'm speechless.
You
more than paid it forward.
You
just
got it, brother. Thanks for
already.
Thanks for the friendship and support, man.
No, thank you.
You square up for the parts, and we're good, dude. I just want you to enjoy the car and have something safe and reliable to get you down the road. Running on all 6 now, so you got other shit to worry about. You got house projects to focus on.
Yeah. I'm gonna fill it up with broken lumber and go to the dump.
Broken lumber and send it to the dump.
Yeah, the old truck.
Yeah. So yeah, my goal is to start doing more, paying it forward type. Sage, what are you doing? Just trying to get that big juicy fly, big sky raising. I want to do more of this stuff as far as just like trying to pay it forward on the channel. Set a good example, and I'm just going to ask the viewers if they can subscribe to the channel. And then at 100K, I'm going to do another BMW giveaway. You remember mine from last March. Yeah. And so haven't had the ability to jump back into that yet, but this is like a small little version of ways that I can continue to do that. And if the viewers can help me get to 100K by hitting the subscribe button, I'm going to do another BMW giveaway, hopefully by this year if we can hit it. So don't know if it'll be the E46 or the E90, or we'll buy something completely brand new and fix it up and do it that way. But
thank you. This is beautiful.
Happy birthday,
man.
brother.
You already pay it forward. All of your work is, I don't know, it's above and beyond anything else that I've ever had anyone do. And yeah, it's just cool. Like I said, it's almost almost fun having your check engine light come on.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to be a part of the process. You get to see the process.
Good man.
It's great to see you, bro.
Yeah, good to see you.
Great to see you, man. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Thank you.
Birthday month for both of us.
Yeah. Yeah. One more.
Happy birthday, brother.
Thanks. Good to see you.
Likewise. See you next time. Sage, come here. You're clear. Come here. That is a wrap. Super good to see Josh. Like I said before, he was one of my first friends when I moved up to this area, and one of my first customers and one of my first supporters at this home shop. I've worked on his 1 Series. I've worked on his F25 X3 with the N55. I did, I think, oil filter housing and valve cover on that. I worked on his son Hunter's X3 that he got, the E83. We did a bunch of work on that, and now I've gotten to work on his Ford Edge. I've been wanting to do something like this really bad. As you guys know, I did that giveaway series last year in March and gave away that BMW E90 to the Del Real family in Phoenix. I would love to do more of those. I wish I could do them every month or every couple months, but I just don't have the financial means to be able to do it yet. So I wanted to start this smaller series where I can help people fix their cars for free and just basically donate the labor to give them sort of a break on price. So Josh is one of the perfect candidates to start this series out. I have an E91 project that I'm working on. Hopefully it will be released either before this video comes out or afterwards, and that's gonna be along the same lines. It's just something real special to me. I don't want to be just a DIY channel. I want to be a little bit bigger than that. I want to be able to give back to the community. I want to form connections with people in the community, whether it's online, whether it's through BMWs, or whether it's here locally. So if you guys could help me out and just hit that subscribe button, it is free. And I promise you, once we hit 100K on YouTube, we will be doing another BMW giveaway. It's going to be huge and it's going to be awesome. And hopefully, as we build this channel up and as the business continues to grow, we can do more and more and more of these, because it's really, really what I want to do. I want to buy cars, I want to fix them up, I want to showcase the repairs, and I want to give them away to you guys for free. So, thanks for watching till the end. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed, or I hope you learned something new. And as always, folks, I'll see you on my next day off. Cheers.